All right, hello once again. This is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Now, I saw this article earlier today, and I said, let me do a video on this because I may be able to educate some people on the ramifications of going into the airport with too much money. So, my question to you is, if an agent come up to you and asks you for to search your bags after you have went through TSA, how would you feel about that? Would that make you feel like, eerie? Like, okay, I just went through TSA. Why do you want to search my bag? Oh, by the way, what if I tell you that these people are plainclothes police, aka DEA? All right, so this is actually going on a lot as the DEA, plainclothes, plainclothes DEA, who they call, who is called drug agents, have already taken over a lot of people's belongings. All right, so let's talk about the sponsor of this video before we get into the aspect of the video. And this video is being sponsored by Protect Your Online Privacy with Private Internet Access. In today's digital age, online privacy has become a growing concern for internet users. With the increasing number of cyber threats, government surveillance, and data breaches, it's essential to protect your online privacy. Protect Internet Access, PIA, is a virtual private network service that provides a secure and private internet connection. So you see the link in the description. So go ahead and give it a whirl. But now let's go ahead and talk about what we want to speak about. So let's go ahead and increase this. And let's play this video.
Hiding in plain sight at the busiest airport in the world, drug agents walk the concourses, blending in by dressing just like passengers. This is a DEA task force officer scanning passengers boarding a flight for Los Angeles. There's another. How do we know who they are? Because we use the same tactics to investigate them after several passengers said they were targeted for warrantless searches at the gate or on the jet bridge.
I'm a random search, guys. So he says.
So those white folks?
And I'm the random search.
Hollywood actor John Ellie was stopped by Clayton County officers while boarding a flight to LA.
Were you here in Atlanta?
Yep.
How long were you here?
Doesn't matter. Why are you asking me all these silly questions? Check my bag, do what you gotta do with him so I can get out of here, please.
The narcotics officers didn't find anything, but kept asking questions of the Emmy-winning actor.
When did you purchase your ticket?
Don't worry about it, man. Just put the call, check my bag so I can get out of here, please.
All right, this bag's good.
Thank you.
That whole thing is just so humiliating. Like, who thinks this is a proper way to treat anyone?
Tabari Sturdivant is an Atlanta-based film director who was also flying to LA when agents stopped him at the departure gate.
All my life, I pride myself on being an upstanding citizen, and you still do this to me. I'm clean, like I'll comply, but like, why me?
Drug agents searched Tabari's bags in the boarding area in front of other passengers, some recording on their phones.
I'm thinking more about, making this plane than I'm even thinking about my rights at this point.
Is that part of their strategy, you think?
I think it's 100%.
Records show that DEA and local police rarely find any drugs or make arrests during what they call cold consent searches at the gate.
I see the finish line to get on the plane. Everybody knows that feeling of getting, right at the door or getting on the jetway when you get blindsided. I'm like, man, I got to get on this flight. And they were like, if you let us do our job, I'll make sure you get on your flight. So I'm like, do what you got to do.
They didn't find anything suspicious in Tabari's bag. So what were they looking for?
He just is like, are you high? Have you smoked? Do you have any drugs in this bag? Do you have any money?
The DEA and other drug agents are seizing millions of dollars from departing passengers at Hartsfield-Jackson, mostly from flights to LA, even though it's completely legal to travel domestically with any amount of cash. We found dozens of cases in Atlanta's federal court, USA v. some amount of currency. That's right, in most cases, they don't arrest the passenger. They arrest their money, even when no drugs are found. The probable cause statements show that the cash is administratively forfeited as drug money if the passenger can't prove on the spot that their money is innocent.
You're either going to sign a consent form saying that you're allowing us to search them,
Okay.
or I'm going to detain them, run my dog on it, and get a search warrant.
Feel free to search the bag, sir.
Are you willing to sign a consent form?
Yes, I will sign a consent form. Feel free to search my bags.
In this 2015 Department of Justice report, the Office of Inspector General told the DEA it should stop using a troubling technique, causing passengers to believe a voluntary search is a mandatory TSA secondary inspection. 8 years later, we found DEA agents at Atlanta's airport using similar methods.
We're no different than TSA, man. People just like to give us a little more hard time than they
Don't worry
give
about
TSA.
it.
He just approached me and he asked me for my ID. He didn't state who he was. He just asked me for ID. And I thought he was a Delta agent. He had airport credentials on. And so I gave it to him immediately. I thought this was how I was going to get on the plane or something. I don't know.
The drug agents may be in plain clothes, but they're not undercover. This is Sergeant David Fikes. He and his canine Bane are still all over the Brookhaven Police Facebook page. Since Fikes was assigned to the DEA task force at the airport last year, records show he's been involved in seizing more than $1 million in cash. His police department has received a 9% cut of that money, more than $100,000, even though Brookhaven PD is nowhere near the airport.
If we have the ability to walk up to, say, Officer Fikes or to any one of these agents in the airport, what would you like us to ask them?
How would you feel if somebody did this to you? How would you feel?
We found Fikes and other plainclothes DEA task force officers by going to departure gates for LA flights. They stopped passengers at the boarding door, asking to see their documents before going through their carry-on bags. The searches we watched came up empty. The drug agents cased 3 different gates in Concourse A, blending in with passengers while we observed from a standoff distance. But it didn't take long before the task force officers spotted our phone and camera. Once they sat down, it was time for a cold consent interview of our own.
Hey there, I'm with the news. You're Sergeant Fikes, aren't you? I'm with Atlanta News First.
Okay.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
Sir, I've got nothing to say to you.
Another officer was behind me, out of sight, over my shoulder, giving hand signals to Fikes as I asked him questions.
What about Tabari Sturdivant? You remember him? No?
Took everything out your bag and put it all around in front of everybody and made you look like a criminal. Like, how would you feel, Officer Fikes?
Why do people have to prove themselves innocent? You got nothing to say to these people?
They say break bread with your enemies.
You're not wanted in this town.
I say go further.
Okay, so
Take their favorite
now let's go
sandwich,
and talk about what
break
we
it,
need to get into.
fill it
Let me
up with-
pause this. Now, Atlanta News First has done a terrific job with this video. And the reason why we're doing this video is because this need to be spoken about until a certain magnitude. And when you look at it, the most of the people that's being searched in those videos are of a certain color, right? The Atlanta-based film director said the agent asks, "Are you high? Have you smoked? Do you have any drugs in the bag? Do you have any money?" The key word there is money. And you got to realize they are going through these tactics because the amount of money that they can take from you in these in context, they can take all of your money, and it's in some cases people are going to leave the $400 and whatever. So let's look this up. All right, what percentage of people search by the DEA at the airport are people of color? Let's look this up. All right, let's see. All right, so let's go here. This is what I want to point out. Didn't state who he was. Federal drug agent seized millions from passengers at Atlanta airport while posing as regular travelers in plainclothes and cold consent encounters. This is where it gets interesting, right? Catching many travelers off guard is a new practice being stealthily carried out by drug agents dressed as plainclothes passengers at the Atlanta airport who are randomly searching people they suspect as transporting drug money. That just code word is I want to steal your freaking money. Atlanta News first investigate. Shout out to them again because they help supply the material to help me do this video, right? Officers at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport as they work to track down potential drug mules making their way through various terminals. Now, think about it. These people have already gone through TSA. They are about to board the plane, specifically plane rides from Atlanta to LA is their targeted market. That's their targeted market right there. All right. Atlanta Black Star also covered the claim of comedians Eric Andre and Clayton Ellis, who were stopped separately, who alleged they were racially profiled by police and questioned about drugs at the airport on separate occasions in 2021 and 2020. Unexpected travelers never realized these were federal drug agents until they were approached by one at their gates. He first approached me. He asked me for my ID. Film director Tabari Sturdivant. I got to get it right. He didn't state who he was. He just asked me for ID, and I thought he was a Delta agent. He had airport credentials on, so I gave it to him immediately. So this is the government, in my opinion, that's conducting itself as entrapment. This is an entrapment moment, right? Sturdivant, an Atlanta-based film director who was heading to LA for a film project, when a group of task force officers walked up to him and requested to search his carry-on luggage in front of other passengers at his gate. The officers didn't find anything illegal, but during the search, they asked if he was high or if he was carrying drugs and cash. It's not illegal for you to carry cash. So why are you asking for the cash? Right? It's not just the DEA that walks around Hartsfield-Jackson Jackson in plain clothes. Clayton County narcotics officers are also in the action because some are reportedly cross-sworn as DEA task force officers. Hollywood actors and comedians Gene Ellie, Andre, and English were stopped by agents on a jet bridge of separate LA to LAX flights and searched their belongings in front of other passengers in 2021 and 2020. Flights from Atlanta to Los Angeles are routinely monitored by these officers who call them known drug trafficking routes. So you are guilty in some capacity if they feel deemed that you are in a drug trafficking route. All right, the suit was filed by Andre English, who not only claimed the searches were neither random or consensual, they also included Clayton County data that revealed 56% of jet bridge stops involved Black passengers, and 68% were people of color. How you like those apples? If you Black, you guilty. That's the way the country view a lot of Black people. The DA stopped collecting race data 20 years ago. A federal judge dismissed their lawsuit last month, arguing in part that the two men should have realized they were free to walk away and not engage with the officers in the jetway. You see how the bait and switch is? You see the bait and switch? They have these people back with these dangerous tactics. The men are appealing the dismissal because when you get the courts in it, it's already you at a standstill. We become a police state then. While the searches may have been popular, they certainly are profitable. Clayton County records and federal documents show that the drug agents found large amounts of cash on passengers at departing gates rather than drugs. Agents have seized millions of dollars. And while travelers aren't arrested, their money is often administratively forfeited. Like most civil forfeiture cases, people who have their money taken must prove in court that their money isn't connected to drug trafficking or other illegal activity. Seizures like these don't just happen at the airport. They've taken place at airports across the country. And like I said again, I definitely want to do this video because in my mind, this is very important so people can understand the ramifications that take place when you are at the airport, that if you take large amounts of cash, in most cases, it may be taken from you. All right, so I got other videos to do. This is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, subscribe, as we'll be coming to you with more videos in the future. And once again, we will see you in the next